Take two. Pardon me. It's kind of late at night here. Whatever that means. In the dream. My sleep patterns have never been the same since enlightenment. Sometimes I'm awake at night in the middle of the night for hours, and sometimes I'll have a good night's sleep. But when I have students, let's say, or teachers, probably be a better way, people that are offering me an opportunity to teach and therefore learn, I find that there is a lot of synchronicity. You call it, it's not really synchronicity, it's just God's will, the way of things. Yeah, gosh. Every time something gets intense on that front, I find that all my cycles tend to go out of whack, and sleep is the main one of those. Sometimes I don't feel like eating. Like today, I've only had, what did I have today? Oh, I had breakfast. I had a good breakfast. I was at a shopping centre this morning. But because we are all one, when you consciously and willingly enter into a teaching learning relationship with someone, what happens is you kind of sync with them. You kind of know what the questions they're going to ask you, and all these sorts of things. Pardon me. But you kind of have these sync and these things, and I mean, everything for the greater good, I don't mind, but man, it's just ongoing. And I wanted to make this video about racism, actually, but it's not starting out that way, is it? But anyway, these stages, I guess that's what I wanted to talk about as well. These stages, you go through definite stages in transformation. It's been 26 years since 1997, what is that? Since I reached enlightenment or had the experience of the divine self outside of my physical frame of reference, outside of the universe, in another realm, I don't even know how to... But I've seen lots of phases within that time of, let's say, groups of people that are representing the idea of students coming in and out of my awareness with whatever it is that they're bringing me as an opportunity for my own learning, and also as an opportunity for their learning, because, I mean, everything's teaching and learning together. There's not really any teacher other than your own internal teacher, and but that gets played out on the physical plane as well. But you go through these phases. The Zoom meetings, for example, Tina and I decided to stop the Zoom meetings for a while. They were becoming kind of, and you have to by necessity, right? You have to go through these stages and phases by necessity. You can't become religiously oriented with any particular practice or anything in time and space if you're about your spiritual maturation, because otherwise it just becomes ritualistic and dogmatic and everything, and like no new energy permeates, no new light permeates, and you simply find yourself stuck in a rut doing the same thing all the time. So we let the Zoom meetings go for a period of about 3 months or something. Maybe it was more than that. But and then with that sort of viral video I did some months ago now, 4 months, 5 months ago, a whole bunch of new people have come in, like another phase, in the Zoom meetings. I was talking to Tyna, and it's like, well, let's start those Zoom meetings again and see if we can lend a bit more support to these new guys that are coming in, and help them with those initial stages, because those initial stages can be hell. They can be really, really bad, like emotionally, mentally, It's not fun undoing the mind. But every one of these phases, every time, and you'll have this in your own thing, you'll have in your own process, you'll have cycles of things that come around again and again and again, and you'll recognize them, and you'll sort of categorize them. I keep having these same sort of job feelings about my job or my friends or my whatever. And you'll go into the process of healing. You'll go into the idea of looking at it and sitting with it and feeling it, and allow yourself to realize the triggers that keep coming around. So the next time it comes around, you'll be able to make a new decision. You can make a new decision about it immediately. You can make a new decision about it as soon as you realize it in your thinking, because it's only going on in your thinking anyway. But the witness to it out in the world, the actual proof of the pudding, is when you find yourself caught in the replay of the presentation of the lesson, and you actually do make a different decision, right? In the interests of accepting our Lord and Saviour Jesus at his word when he says, you're a liar and the son of a liar. I can't trust my own thoughts. Lesson 10 of A Course in Miracles, my thoughts don't mean anything. So having that external witnessing for a moment until I can realize what a liar I am and what a phony I am and a fraud I am is incredibly helpful. And of course, these phases come and go as you go through forgiveness, self-forgiveness for asking that person to play that part for you, self-forgiveness for the choice you made to believe that it's possible or might be possible to be separate from God, where in the physical frame of your experience, through what it is you're manifesting or projecting, shows you where you're at with everything like that. Along the way, there's going to be a lot of disagreement and questioning and doubt. And today I was talking with someone who is going through a lot of doubt. And I went through this exact same thing during my transformation about salvation, when the phenomena was happening and everything was happening. And even when after I'd had the illumination of my mind in another freaking dimension, I still had these moments where that ego voice would be like, man, is this even really a real thing? Maybe you're fucking dreaming it or making it all up or whatever, and you got to go through that. You don't really have a choice, right? It's like, well, what do? I've got this big book here telling me everything that I'm going through, and I'm going through it, and I'm seeing that things are changing in me and that all my triggers are being activated. And I'm seeing these cycles, and I'm seeing these grievances coming up, and everything's coming up, all this energy's coming. Like, the whole thing lends witness to the process. Like, it's all part and parcel of it, and you can't really doubt it. But the power of ego mind to, it's like, never underestimate mind in denial. That integrity to deny the validity or the truth of your spiritual transformation. Well, don't be surprised about it, because it's part and parcel of the validity that you seem to experience in the nature of how real the dream seems to you as an idea of denial of reality. Like, the whole world in its entirety is denial of truth. God is formless and creates in its own likeness. Therefore, what is this form? What is this computer mouse? What is these hands, this house, these glasses, this hair, and this flesh? It's not formless, that's for sure. So, at least my mind tells me it's not. So, every time there is a refusal to, or a doubt or a disbelief, in the process, it's always countered by acceptance. You get to a point in everything in this where it's like, well, I don't have a choice. I'm caught up in this thing. Man, I threw my first 2 Course in Miracles books away. I burnt one of them. I was living in a teepee and I had no paper to light my fire in my teepee at night, and I used to read some pages and tear them out and use them to light my fire, and eventually I just got sick of reading the book. But after my second or third book I threw away, I realized that this is a real thing. I'd already had enlightenment. I resisted. I didn't want there to be no world. I wanted the world to be real and there to be a tangible solution so that people on earth could get along. And when I realized that that wasn't the way things were, and that the actual solution was in my own mind, that I was trying to get along with myself, or wishing I could get along with myself instead of hating myself so much, which I didn't initially realize that I hated myself so much. I thought I was kind of okay, had a few rough edges. But what a judgmental little arsehole I turned out to be. Welcome to spirituality. We always love the idea that we're better off than someone else, or we're a better version of a human being than someone else. It's like, nah, we're all exactly the same here. It doesn't matter how many airs and graces or how dutifully you've fooled yourself into believing something. But you have to meet everything with acceptance. There's no point resisting. In fact, Jesus used to teach this as resist not evil. So the Course in Miracles is going to bring up a lot of stuff in you that'll show you stuff about yourself that you don't want to accept. And it's incredible, the tenacity of the mind, the tenacity of the ego, to be able to read that book and assume or think that what you're reading, oh, that must be for somebody else. That section there, that's not me. That must be for just, Jesus is just covering all the bases for other people, It's like, nah, it's all you. Take it 100% personally. If you don't relate to the idea that it's actually you, it's because you're in denial. I'm not in denial. Well, that's actually what denial is. If the whole continuum is denial and you find yourself still here with one of these vessels, participating in the continuum, then you're participating in the continuum of denial, and you can only do so from a position of denial. Once you truly accept your wholeness, truly accept that the love of God is what you are, then you'll be gone from here. Maybe you'll have an experience of the illumination of your mind and choose to come back and help me represent this curriculum, represent this message, and help our brother Jesus with his ongoing dissemination of the teachings that he represented when he walked the world 2,000 odd years ago, and proved the efficacy of through his resurrection. You'll have to forgive me for all the yawning. I think last night I only got... I'm digging into the past a bit to make an excuse for myself. How pathetic is that? But I feel like I should in this case, since otherwise I'll have people going, dude, are you all right? You need to get some sleep. Yeah. And you're right, I do need some sleep, but I'm not this body, so luckily, phew, that's lucky. However, the body does need rest, and just, you keep these things about the body simple. Put clothes on it, put food in it, wash it now and again because it gets smelly, and give it some sleep. It's like a rental car. You got to put petrol in it, and you got to give it a wash every now and again, and You can't run it 24 hours a day. It'll just blow up or whatever. So just chit-chat, I guess. Acceptance. Acceptance is a huge tool in the spiritual toolbox. Accept where you find yourself. Don't worry about being further ahead than where you're at. Just be grateful that you're included in salvation. Be grateful you're included in salvation, and be grateful that you have a means now whereby to learn the way. Right? You've got 365 lessons. You've got like 700 or 800 pages of text. I can't remember what it is now. It's all fading from my mind. But I used to be able to know, God, all the lessons. And when the illumination happened of my mind, when I saw the world vanish, the people I was looking at vanished, the walls vanished, the outside world vanished, and my body vanished, and I found myself in eternity for that brief period, home. Home. Journey seems so real. When I found myself home, to realise that I was actually already home, and that's where I actually am now. And so are you. You've got to have the experience, though. I know I lost track of what I was saying then, but you've got to have the experience. You've got to use the energy that's going on for you to push you into prayer. When all that energy's coming up, when you start to forgive and you release the floodgates and everything starts to get emotional and you just feel it and you don't know what to do with it. It's like I'm feeling all this anxiety, or I'm feeling all this whatever, anger maybe. You have to offer it all to the Holy Spirit. You've got to offer it all, like that. You can probably tell I got some energy happening in me now just thinking about home. How beautiful it is. Oh, God, totally lost track of it now. I got no clue what I was saying. I know somewhere I referenced about the amount of sleep I had last night, and it wasn't much. It was an hour or two. Probably this avatar has been functioning non-stop for about, God knows. What's 2 days? 48 hours? About that. I know I got a couple of hours sleep in there. 45 hours maybe. I'm feeling the yawns. I'm feeling the yawns now. I'm feeling the tiredness now. But it's only the avatar feeling it. I'm not actually feeling it. And that's an important definition to make. It's an important line in the sand where in your mind training you realize the difference between what the physical shell goes through and needs and requires, etc., as far as food and sleep and whatever, which is pretty normal for the physical dimension. Don't try to live off air. I mean, come on, what are you trying to do? Prove that you're a body. But I'm not tired. I'm not sleepy. I'm not hungry. There's no need to fast. You don't have to prove anything to yourself through your body. Everything is an action of mind, and whatever happens through the body will happen automatically and naturally as part of your own transformation. If you find yourself fasting or doing whatever, then so be it, but making a conscious choice to facilitate some sort of witnessing through the body by pushing it to extremes or going beyond what you think your own limitations are is only verifying the body as what it is that you think you are or associated with. And I'm here to tell you that you're not in that body at all. You're not in that body at all. I know it feels like you are, and it seems like you're somewhere back here in consciousness looking out from behind these eyes, but you're not. At no single instant does the body exist at all. It's either anticipated or remembered, like the world, like everything. You're actually in eternity right now, where you've always been and can only ever be, dreaming that you're a body in time and space, dreaming that I'm a body in time and space, which is why it's necessary to have the experience. So you have that other reference, you have that non-linear reference, the eternal reference of yourself, your true self, so that the temptation to believe in the particulars of what the body seems to go through don't get confused in your mind with your identity of yourself. You're not a body. I'm not a body. I know in the beginning of transformation, the mind is heavily loaded on the side of believing that you are a body, which is why you have to keep up the momentum of doing your lessons and being devoted and all of that stuff, so that the particulars of the witnessing to your transformative process, which will bring you to the realization of that it's actually a true thing going on for you, can continue to put dents in your armor, let's say, or put chinks in the armor. I think that's the word. Is it dents or chinks? Can't remember. In the armor of conscious denial, and begin again to reopen the mind or open up the mind to the possibility that perhaps there's something else going on here beyond the physical frame of reference that I'm unaware of, or we are unaware of. Something miraculous and divine. I am going to put this vessel to sleep shortly, though, so a vessel called Dave. It's funny. When you begin to see everything as just energy, it begins to take on different proportions. The idea of being hungry. When I would meditate and go to classes and stuff like that, sometimes I'd go for the whole day. I'd be gone for the whole day, and I wouldn't stop for lunch. I'd sit in the session room and then go straight to the library for a reading session, and then go and do whatever was going on in the afternoon, and then into the evening, and I wouldn't eat. And my body would send the signals, that, oh, hungry, hungry. And I used to tell myself, oh, I'm so full I couldn't fit another thing in, because I didn't want to miss anything. And my mind would make that my reality. And all of a sudden the hunger would turn into being full and like stuffed. And I'd go and do whatever it was I was doing, wanting to do. Tonight, however, the idea of being tired and sleepy is incredibly powerful. It's overcoming me a lot. If there's degrees of being overcome, and it feels as if it would be an advantage if I just laid this vessel down for a while. It's running out of petrol. So acceptance, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. Whatever you're going through, this too shall pass. Acceptance, personal acceptance, yep. Let me just accept this rather than trying to fight it, rather than trying to resist it or defend myself against what it is that it's presenting me. You can't hold back the floodgates of the universe. It's like, just let it happen. Let it happen. Accept it, move on. Accept it, move on. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. And as you apply that, you have to, forgiveness, it's a key for a reason. It unlocks all of the vaults and all of the files and all of the everything of unhappiness, all of the misery and the grievances and the judgments that result in a chaotic mindset. And you learn all of these things, all of these tools that you learn in the spiritual discipline, in a spiritual discipline, in the universal curriculum. Forgiveness, acceptance, tolerance, patience, all of these principles. Learning what it is that they are in a divine sense, because it's different in the main to how we think of things. Forgiveness in the worldly sense is so different to forgiveness in the divine sense. The forgiveness Jesus taught was pull the beam from your own eye and you'll see your brother. You'll see clearly. He didn't teach that you had to forgive somebody because you're the better man, you're the better of the two of you or anything like that. That wasn't what he taught. That was the opposite of what he taught. He taught that all men are equal. All right, I love you guys. Just a quick one. Oh, it's not 26 minutes. If you're going through a heap of stuff, and I hope you are, and I mean that in a nice way, if you're going through a heap of emotional releasing, if you're going through a bunch of stuff, just know that it's natural, it's good, it's necessary. That's what the process is. Facing your shit, dealing with it, healing it, letting it go. Right? And in the process of letting it go, you are going to feel it. Like sometimes it comes up like a bottle rocket, kapow, and sometimes it feels like this giant surge building, and but don't adjust to it. Let it happen. Do not adjust to your pain. Do not adjust to the emotional energy that's going on within you when you do these lessons and when you practice forgiveness and prayer and meditation, all of that. You're going to start changing everything. Everything's going to change. If it's not changing, it's because you haven't truly chosen inner peace as your goal. You're kind of kidding yourself somewhere. And that's possible to do. I kidded myself about it for a long time. It was almost a whole year before I realized what a liar I was doing those lessons. All right. I'll load this one, then I'm going to hit the sack. I, the body, I, the avatar, inclusive of I, the divine. I love you guys, and thank you. I don't know if I got time to talk about this one. I actually did want to talk about, somebody had a question today. It was a really good question on the last video that I did, and I do want to address it because it was with regard to the horrors of the world and all of the injustices and everything, and man, I so relate to that. Been through that, and out the other side. What a journey. And that was a path of acceptance as well. And I've also got a video that I need to make about racism. It could be about any ism actually, but racism, and I've been wanting to make it for a while. It's been requested over the last years, really. People often ask me, can I make a video about racism? And I usually get those sort of requests on Facebook where it's more anonymous, and I don't mind that. I mean, like, we're all entitled to our anonymity because it's not easy to come out of your shell and admit that, yes, I'm a racist, or yes, I'm a bigot, or yes, I'm a narcissist or a gas lamper or any of those sorts of things, It's not easy. And we got to love each other and support each other in our unfoldment. We got, we got to be there for each other without judgment. That's the whole point. So if you do have anything you want to say to me in anonymity, even if you want to call me an arsehole, I've been called everything, man. It doesn't affect me anymore, but if it helps you to get it off your chest, or you have a genuine inquiry about anything, I mean, I'll do my best. Just write to me on Facebook. And Tina usually puts all that down below, those links and stuff. Oh, and people have been asking about joining the Zoom meetings still. There was someone in the last video, I'd like to join the meeting. That's great, and the links are down below. Contact Tina. She will put you on the list and send you the link for the Zoom meeting, however she's working that out. Peace.